Hey guys, today's video is going to be upfront, real, and honest with you, the pros and cons of competing in a bodybuilding federation. I'm specifically focusing on NPC, but I'm sure this relates to the other federations as well. If you're interested in watching this video, then just keep watching and give it a thumbs up if you find this information beneficial to you. But competing for me, I experienced so much, and I don't want to beat down all the negatives, and I also don't want to shine too much on the positive. So I'm going to try to do my best to keep this balanced. So I no longer compete. I competed for 9 competitions for a matter of 2 years back in 2011, 2012. And I have had the best and the worst. So that's what inspired me to do this video. I figured it's time to just put it out there, and I want to make this as candid as possible and raw and truthful for those who are considering competing or competing but maybe have not experienced everything yet. Some of these experiences came more in tune when I joined a team, when I started competing at a national level, when I started competing at national qualifiers. That's really more when I started to see some of the negative sides of competing instead of just up front in the beginning. Now, so for the pros, honestly, the first one is, duh, you're competing. That is a pro. I think it's a pro. You're pushing yourself to such an unrealistic goal. For most people, they find it unrealistic, and you are achieving that. That is such an awesome thing, and you should be proud of yourself for even putting in your mind that, hey, I want to go to the gym. Actually, no, scratch that. I don't want to go to the gym, but I want to be in the gym all the time, living this healthy lifestyle and taking what I gain from that and showcasing it on a stage. That is, I think, a pro. It's teaching yourself that you can push yourself to the most extreme levels and you can come out successful from that. You set such an unrealistic goal and you achieved it. As far as you wanted to compete in a bodybuilding show and you competed. That is a pro. That is the most rewarding thing out of it, is that it is such an extreme training that you go through for however long your prep is, usually 12 weeks. So 12 weeks of the year, you are a whole different person with this mindset. And you learn that you can really push yourself to the most extreme level. So I want to say that is a pro in my book. You learn more about yourself and more self-respect through this, because a lot of it is an independent thing. You can't rely on other people to get your body for you. Yes, plastic surgery can get your own body or get you a new body without lifting a finger, but it's really up to you, and you have to depend on yourself to get to the gym, to eat that next meal, to do one more posing session, something along those lines. It's all on you. So you learn a lot of drive, like how to drive yourself to get there. You learn a lot of self-respect. You learn a lot of time management. And those are some things that I never knew how to really do well until I started competing. And I learned, I want to win a show, so this is what I have to do to sacrifice, or these are the items that I have to sacrifice to get there. So you also learn sacrifice. You learn the things that are worth giving up to get the goal that you want. So that I also think is a pro, because even when you get off the stage, you still, at least I still have that mentality in life. I think about, well, I want this, what can I do to get there? Other pros on top of just your self-love and being with yourself a lot of the time. I think you, this is crazy, but you learn the things that motivate you, and you learn the things where you can be unmotivated, and you learn how to get yourself motivated again, to get up, to get into the gym early, to push yourself even though you're really sore and tired and hungry. So you learn motivation from within, instead of looking at a picture on Instagram, you're like, wow, I really want to look like her, but I don't know how. Now you know how, or you're learning how to. So that's, I also think, is what's cool about competing, or beneficial of competing. I was just your average college girl, eating Taco Bell all the time, drinking, binge drinking, and competing made me kind of shy away from that lifestyle Well, kind of. I shouldn't say kind of. It made me shy away from that lifestyle. And on my 21st birthday, I was drinking like a proteini, and I had like a ton of cake. All my friends brought over cakes, and I was extremely overwhelmed by that. Your pros are that you learn more about yourself. This is an individual type of thing, like it's an individual sport. So you're not relying on others. You have to really rely on yourself to push yourself and to make sure you go to the gym, and hopefully you have a supportive team behind you. The other sides is that you create more friends. I mean, you're going to learn all the people, hopefully you'll learn all the people's names in the gym that are there around the same time you are, so you get a fit fam. Some girls call themselves the queen of the gym. I heard that from one of my coaches, and I thought it was the most extreme thing, but now that I left, I see it, and it's weird because I'm like, okay, that girl's the queen of the gym. The girl at my old gym is the queen of the gym. Like, it's a funny thing to think about, but you own that gym. You become this person that you're like, I own this gym. I know every machine. I know every person in here, and you begin to feel safe, and that's something I can only say I feel safe in my house, and safety is a big thing. So when you feel safe, it's like a home to you, I'd say. And I feel like when I get into the gym, I feel like it's home, because no matter where I go, you are always going to have all of the stereotypes in the gym. Maybe some differences, but even in Arkansas and New Jersey and Florida, I see all these personalities and stereotypes, and I can also like relate, like, oh, that's that person from Florida, but obviously it's a different person. So it's, no matter where you go, you're always going to see that. So it's comforting to me because I've relocated twice within a year from my forever home, and it was nice to see those types of people and have a place where you can feel comfortable in. And it doesn't matter if it's a new gym, but it's just the feeling that you get there. So if you ever relocate, it's a nice thing to have. On top of the people you meet in the gym and the friendships you make there, I've got to say I made so many friends when I competed just in Florida alone. I made friends at my first show, and more so my second show. But one of the girls that was in my class, I still see on Facebook. We still talk. We still comment on our stuff or like each other's things. And I think that's awesome. That was so long ago. There's girls in my second show that have become pro now, and they still live in my hometown. So it's cool to see that too, because there was only, I think, 3 pros. Yeah, there's 3 pros from my hometown, and now there's, I think, 6 maybe. But it's cool, and it's motivating to see these people that you're in the gym with doing cardio next to each other, and then all of a sudden they're at the same show, and maybe you might not talk to them at first, but you start to realize, you're like, oh, there's a competitor. So you start talking. Hopefully you talk to those people. If you don't, shame on you. You should make friends with them, because you always see them, and it's just a great opportunity to relate to people in the same mind. But you make a lot of friends at shows, and that's something that's motivated me, because if it weren't for making friends, you would be backstage by yourself with headphones in, really sad, and it's not fun. You want to make a competition fun when you get there. You look forward to who you're going to see. You look forward to meeting, the people at the booths that you always see, like, promoting those items. You're excited to see the same judges. If you compete locally, you'll always see the same judges. If you compete nationally, it's always the same judges. And then another pro is when it's your final week. I call it Hell Week, but Hell Week is usually when you start to tone down on your training. You still are doing cardio. Hopefully you're not doing crazy amounts of cardio, but you'll still probably have your cardio sessions, but you start to relax on your weightlifting training, and you take time to beautify yourself that week. So you're getting your nails done, you're getting waxes, you're getting your hair done, you're maybe getting facials, you're getting maybe eyelash extensions now, since those are really popular. I'd assume a lot of girls are getting those instead of having fake lashes on. In the pros, or in the cons, you're going to have balancing out. Yes, you made this realistic goal, but how long can you achieve it? And depending on your type of training, if you have a coach who is awesome, They're going to help you out of season, and they're going to help you either cycle out of the competition prep diet, or they're going to help you get into off season and grow and develop so you can take on the next season better, stronger, fiercer. All of those things are going to help you work on during those times where you don't have to be as strict. So a con within sacrificing, when I was talking about that in the pros, is that you have to sacrifice your favorite foods, and some people have a lot of bad self-control over this. Say there's peanut butter in your diet, and it was like, for me, I had like a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of peanut butter to go on a rice cake. And guess what? Sometimes you forgot your measuring spoon, and you ended up getting a tablespoon, eating a whole tablespoon, and before you know it, you have no self-control, and you have taken the whole peanut butter jar and ate it. I've heard so many stories like that from the girls that were on my team, because we all almost like cycled out cookie cutter diets, and yes, the team is known for that now. But you learn that there's some girls that have no self-control, and you learn your weaknesses, which is great, but self-control is a big issue when you have one little thing that just it clicks and you're like, oh my god, I have to have all of it now. So you also have binge eating or eating disorders or body shape disorders, body dysmorphia, and those things come from competing. So that is a huge con to competing, is that afterwards you might not know how to get back into the normal ways of living. You might obsess over your body and how you look. You might not know how to eat, so you want to eat healthy, but you are trying to get into a normal eating pattern, so you'll eat really bad in a lot of it. Cons of competing: you have a lot of politics. This was something that was a huge issue when I was competing, and I can only see that it's gotten worse over time, and that is politics. So if you train under one team, and the girl who's competing is with that team, and the team has a great relationship with the judge at the show, what are the chances of that girl placing or getting her pro card? It's really likely. Another one is that the judges are also coaches. I've seen that a lot. I've seen people paying or doing sexual favors. I've heard a lot about one judge in particular on the pro and the national level board who will ask competitors for sexual favors, and they kept saying no, so they kept getting placed worse and worse, even though it was like the best physique at that show. So that's also something you'll see. If you're not surgically enhanced, you're going to maybe start to get the idea that the only way you could win is if you do get surgically enhanced. And I've seen a lot of girls, yes, a lot of girls backstage are surgically enhanced, so it's like in your face all the time when you're in that environment. But when you are out of that environment, just think, how worthy is it of you to do that and to get them done just so you can win or place better? And I don't know if that's a good enough reason for you to do that. I've worked with a plastic surgeon who has had clients come in, or I should say patients come in, and they want to be surgically enhanced. And when you ask why, they say, oh, well, I'm competing in a bodybuilding show and I want to look better. And that's right where he says, nope, that's where I can't do it for you, because it's not a good reason. Just because your competition is fierce doesn't mean you have to surgically enhance yourself. Ladies, there's called a thing of pillow stuffing. I will link it in this video so you can see. I've always been smaller chested, and the pillow stuffing, from straightforward, it does not look like it's pillow stuffing at all. People think that I've gotten breast implants when I've done this, and so I just want to tell you there's other options before you go to that. But because you're always around that environment, you start to think like, oh, well, maybe I need to do this. I almost got to a point where I dyed my hair brown because blondes don't place as well in NPC. And within the politic area, I kind of left that real quick. With the politics, you'll see that there is a new federation called Inspire, and they're promoting themselves as to having less politics, being more fair, all these things that are almost like making the NPC look bad for the things that they do. And I've also heard that the WBFF has done some weird things, like when they promote themselves on Facebook or Instagram, they've changed the faces on the bodies of girls, and that has been a big problem. And getting support from your family can be really hard. It can be hard on yourself emotionally, physically. You don't want to go to the gym because your husband is starting to feel left out of it or doesn't go to the gym. You have a lack of support maybe from your friends because they don't understand it. I had that happen a lot, and the people that made fun of me the most are now the people in the gym busting their butts, wanting a bigger butt, wanting abs, wanting bigger legs or more muscles, and they're trying to compete. So that says a lot right there. But when I first came out and did it, nobody's heard about it. It was really foreign to my hometown. And now everybody's trying to compete or go in the gym and look good and look awesome. And it was surprising to me because it's Florida and it's really common there. Another con is that it's really expensive. If you don't have your finances in check, do not compete yet. You need to save up for this. It is an expensive sport. So here I am in the cons. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be competing. That is the cold, honest truth. And the even worse part about it is that I've seen a lot of GoFundMes for people that are trying to compete, and I just don't think that's not the right concept of using GoFundMe. Cons is that you may lose your friends throughout the way. They don't understand it. You're lacking support from your family, whatever it may be, and it's kind of what my support topic is. You may lose some friends along the way. They may think you're crazy or just self-absorbed. They don't really see it when you first start, but if you continue throughout, they'll start to realize that this is just a huge passion of yours. Hopefully they'll come around to supporting it, but it's very hard to get people to understand it when it's really just such a foreign thing for your area that you may live in. And then lastly, so if you have a bad coach, and I recommend researching every single thing possible under the sun with competing before you really dive into it. That includes coaches. So if you have a really bad coach, or if you didn't do a fair amount of researching if you're coaching yourself along the way, is that you can damage your body, you can hurt your metabolism, and in the end run, you've caused more damage than good by competing. So be very self-aware of the health issues that can arise from it, or the things that you're doing to your body. And if you see something that can be a red flag, you need to ask and keep asking why until they explain it. And if they can't explain it, you need to research and figure it out. And don't be afraid to inform them, because they keep doing it to more and more people. They're going to keep hurting more and more people, and it never gets out until enough people have had it and one person starts it, and it's just a cannonball effect of everybody realizing what happened to their body. It's tough, and I hope it's going to change the competitive world, and I feel like it might have done some good there, but you just need to be more aware of what you're doing to your body, because you can lose your menstrual cycle. You can have thyroid issues. You can have testosterone or estrogen issues afterwards. You can have depression. You can have body dysmorphia. There's just so many side effects from competing that you have to balance out the good with the bad and see if it's right for you. I would just want to throw it out there, some of the pros and cons of competing and what that should really mean to you. So I hope this helps you and helps you think about competing more or less, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.